Dieting 101 with Delaney.
I hit the late night function, real late but it's still popping. Yeah, I'm rich and I still got it. You look like I should holler. Who did you come here with? You look like you was an option. Who did you come here with? Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Back workout that I did this week, and it's honestly a must try. It was such a great back workout. It made me sweat, which doesn't actually normally happen, and it gave me a really good pump. So definitely give that a try on your next back day. So I've been having a lot of questions about dieting and what I do personally, and it like really made me think, because looking at the bigger perspective, like you don't want to look at a person and be like, I want her body, or I want my butt to look like that, or you want to know their macros because you're going to follow those macros because they got those results and those are the results that you want to see, because that's not how it works. You can't say, oh, Delaney, like, what are your macros? Or look at anybody in like the fitness industry and find out their macros and plug them in as your macros and expect to get the same results, because that's not going to happen, because your body is different than my body It's different than your best friend's body. It's different than anybody's body out there. Like, your body is your body, and what works for someone else most likely is not going to work for you. So you have to take that step back and kind of say, okay, I realize that I can't do what so-and-so did, but there is something out there that I can do to give me the results that I want to see within myself. And also, I didn't get like this overnight. I started my fitness journey 3.5 years ago now at this point, and I was at a very bad place in my life when I started my journey. And everybody has like their own story and their own reason of why they got into fitness. And that's, to me, is like the most empowering thing about it, because you're not just doing it just to do it. You're doing it to better your lifestyle and better your overall health and self. And that's why I started. Looking back to where I was then and then comparing myself to where I am now, it's like, wow, like I did that. I stuck to it this long, and I've made the progress I've made, and I haven't given up. And I'm not planning on giving up anytime soon. Everybody has their starting point, and everybody will eventually have their ending point. And whether or not you plan on making it a forever thing, or if you plan on making it to get from point A to point B because that's where you want to go in life. So you can't just look at other people and say, oh, she has abs all the time, even when she's not cutting. I want abs all the time when I'm not cutting. That's not how it works. Like, I'm to a point where I can maintain my weight pretty good, but you have to get to that point. You have to train your body to be able to get to a point where it can say, okay, I can take in this amount of calories, this amount of carbs. You have to work up to that. It's not just going to happen at the start of your journey. So I think that's very important for people to understand, because it's not an overnight thing. And it never will be. And if it was overnight, it would be too easy. So you really have to like find a goal, set that for yourself, and achieve the goal. There are many different things that you can do when it comes to dieting. You could follow a strict meal plan where it's written out, set like meal by meal, what you eat, the amount, the times you eat, you're going to be eating the same thing every day, like that type of thing. And I used to do that. I used to follow a strict meal plan where I ate the same thing every single day. I ate at the same time every single day, and my food never changed. And to me, that is not, there's nothing wrong with that style of dieting at all. Let me just say that. But for me personally, I could not live like that anymore. I could not follow a strict meal plan and eat the same things every day and just be so strict, because to me, I was just wasting away my life. I wouldn't allow myself to go out. I wouldn't allow myself to go have a drink with friends. I wouldn't even allow myself to eat like what my mom cooked for dinner. Like, and that to me isn't okay. To me, that's not a healthy mind state. To me, that's you being too wrapped up in dieting. And there is nothing wrong with that if you are competing for a show, if you have plans to compete for a show. There is nothing wrong with being super strict like that. But for me, I had no end goal. I didn't have a date to step on stage. I didn't have anything that I was dieting for, technically. Now, I did follow a strict meal plan when I bulked for the first time ever, and that is how I got most of the muscle mass that I have. Before that, I was a twig, literally. I was not at a healthy weight. I had family constantly asking me if there was something going on that they needed to know about, if I had an eating disorder, like why I wasn't eating, why I was losing all this weight. I have always been pretty lean. I cheered all my life pretty much and was always active. So I always had a fit body per se, but it got to a point where I was looking not healthy, and hearing like family come up to you and like ask you stuff like that, it just makes you like take a step back and say, okay, like I need to get to the bottom of this. Like I need to figure out what it is that's causing me the pain I'm in, and what it is that's causing me not to be able to eat or not want to eat, have no desire to eat, And so I started going to see a gastrointestinal doctor, and I actually found out that I am allergic to eggs. Coming from eating eggs every single day and looking back to knowing how I felt after eating eggs every day, I would eat breakfast and then I wouldn't eat the rest of the day because of the pain and like misery that I was in from the eggs. So obviously when you put yourself in a starving state, you're gonna lose weight because your body is eating what it has internally to put itself in survival mode. So I will insert a clip, but I was very tiny. I've never been that tiny in my life, nor do I ever want to go back to that. To me, it's not healthy. It caused a lot of other problems, along with finding out that I had a food allergy that I didn't know about. So yeah, so that was the moment when I was like, okay, something has to change. So before I knew I was allergic to eggs is when I started my fitness journey, and I actually reached out to a friend who was getting certified at the time, and she was amazing. She helped me in every possible way that she could. She is the reason I am where I am today, and I could never thank her enough for that. We're very close to this day. Don't be scared to reach out for help. Having a trainer isn't bad. Having a coach isn't bad. They are there to help you. Whether you could be certified and you could still want a coach. Like, it has nothing to do with your ability and your knowledge. It has to do more with, if I was to prep for a show, I would be hiring a coach, because I would not have the accountability for myself to make sure that I'm tracking all my food, I'm following my right macros. Like, I need that person behind me saying, like, get your shit together, you need to follow your stuff. I could make the macros for myself and I could do it. I could train myself through a prep for a show, but I know how I am, and I would never be able to stick fully 100% to it unless I had someone that I was constantly going to for check-ins and for the accountability aspect of it. So that's just my personal take on it. I do not have a coach or a trainer or anything like that now. I do everything on my own, but I wouldn't be where I am today without taking that step out of my comfort zone to reach out to someone for help, because I would have never put on the muscle or the weight that I put on without the help, because mentally I wouldn't have been okay with it. I wasn't okay with how I looked at the time, but going from being that tiny to all of a sudden putting on weight can be hard for people. Putting on weight and gaining weight is not a bad thing at all, but it's like a mental game that you play with yourself. So in ways people can struggle with that, and it's a very common thing. Eating disorder or not eating disorder, just people who want to be in a bulking stage have hard time making that transition, because it's like, I don't want to put on all that fat because I don't think I'm going to lose it type thing. You're going to learn as you go through it, whether you have help or whether you don't have help. Like, each day you're going to learn something new, not only about your body, but about the gym, about dieting, about whatever. I used to follow a strict meal plan, and now I do IFYM, and it fits my lifestyle. It fits the needs that I have. I cannot do what I used to do. Like, I can't be that strict. I don't have a way that I want to look. I'm not cutting, I'm not bulking, I'm kind of like maintaining right now. I'm lifting heavy in the gym, training hard. I train 5 to 6 days a week, and my diet is kind of all over the place at this point. Some days I track, some days I don't track. I'm pretty much at the point now where I don't need to track every day, because I'm not following a strict meal plan, but since my life is crazy, I do pretty much eat around the same thing every day, so I kind of know portion sizes, so I don't need to track every day. But sometimes if I just like want to see like what my calorie range is at or whatever, I'll track for a day or something. I'm not following strict macros. I'm kind of eating until I'm full, and then I'll eat when I'm hungry type thing. And it seemed to be working. I'm not losing weight, I'm not gaining weight. Sometimes I'll drop, sometimes it'll rise, and that's normal in life, whether you're dieting, bulking, or not doing anything. Your weight is going to vary between water and stuff like that. So if you're going for IFYM, start slow and build your way up type thing. That's what I did. Katie Hearn, actually, on her website, she has a really good macro calculator. So if you want to like put in your stats there and get your breakdown of your starting macros, you can do that. So that's a good starting place. My advice to you is to either A, reach out for help, B, do your own research and get knowledge on the things that you want to know. You can go to bodybuilding.com and they have so many resources out there for you, whether it's workouts, tips for dieting, tips for IFYM eating. There's so many things on the internet that you can go to just to get information if you don't want to reach out for a trainer. I wouldn't recommend going in blind because that's how you can really screw things up, whether that would be messing up your metabolism or not actually not getting enough nutrients and calories into your body, training the wrong way and getting an injury. So you definitely want to have some type of base knowledge before you start. But after that, it's pretty much all trial and error. I mean, I play around with my macros all the time. I've gone from a keto diet, which is high fat, no carbs pretty much, to a high carb diet and low fat because I found that my body works better on carbs than fats. You could do intuitive eating, which is where you don't track at all and you just eat intuitively. You eat when you're hungry. You're hungry. Oh my God, what are words? You eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. You could do intermittent fasting, which is where you fast for so many hours and then you eat for so many hours. I've done that, but sometimes with my schedule it's hard to do that because if I have to go to the gym at night, it leaves me to not be able to eat post-workout, so it doesn't really work out ideally. But I don't know, it's all personal preference. I've tried it all. That's my little rant on that. I hope it was like some informative knowledge for you guys. And if you have any questions, don't be scared to comment below or reach out to me on Instagram. And yeah, so like the video and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Stay tuned for that. Bye.
Motorsport, put that thing